here we go. Note, this review is done on a Super Mario 3D All-Stars version, as it is the only version I have access to. So, let's talk about Super Mario Galaxy. One of the greatest Mario games of all time. So, let the review begin. So to start off the review, let's begin talking about the story. And what a surprise! It's Bowser kidnaps Peach. Because that's not a story we're all tired of. Honestly, am I the one who's just so tired of these at this point? But yeah, I'll admit though, the visuals of this game massively amplify it, and we will get to that very soon. And we will get to that in this review. But let's start with the level design. The game is pretty simple. It's got 120 different stars to collect in about 30 to 40 different galaxies. Which isn't bad. And in each of these galaxies, you have a mission. You have some missions, and once you complete a mission in a certain level, you get a star. It's as simple as that. There's really not much to say. But the level design is pretty dang fun, and these worlds all feel pretty good to explore. It's got a lot to go for it. It's got a lot going for it. And the overall worlds. The only real issue level design-wise is the fact that the Gold Leaf Galaxy is just the Honey Hive Galaxy again, which kind of makes the devs look stupid or lazy. But then again, we're playing Super Mario Galaxy, so that's blatantly not clear. Or at least until nowadays. And yeah, level design's great. And then there's the music. Mario Galaxy is actually quite famous to an extent. It is the first Mario game to have an orchestral soundtrack. Yes, orchestral, as in performed by an actual orchestra. Which is quite a big deal for a Mario game. And the music's quality fits that ambition. And so many songs in this game are some of not just the best in Mario, but the best in probably any Wii game. With one of my personal favorites being Buoy Base Galaxy. Seriously, who doesn't like Buoy Base? And of course, there's also the iconic Gusty Garden Galaxy, the final Bowser fight, and just so many more other amazing songs. Basically what I'm saying is this is an amazing Mario OST, and I'd even go as far as to say it would remain the best undoubtedly until Paper Mario the Origami King released 2 years ago. Seriously, who doesn't love this game's music? And then there's also the visuals. Sure, Mario Galaxy doesn't look perfect, but honestly, I'd say this game still looks nice to this day. But where I really got to appreciate this game is the cutscenes shading. That's not the sort of thing that you'd usually praise a game for, but the shading in the cutscenes, particularly involving Bowser, really do make the situation feel a lot more tense than it really usually does seem. Instead of it just being, oh no, Bowser kidnaps Peach, the situation does feel like life or death because of how serious the visuals are, particularly in its shading. It's incredibly impressive, and the rest of the game doesn't look bad either. Of course, it hasn't aged perfectly, but that's just the nature of making a game like this. Unless you use a very unique art style like Okami or Cuphead or something like that, your visuals probably won't age the best. Remember back when Tomb Raider looks gorgeous? But yeah, I still think this game doesn't look bad. Next is the boss fights, which are pretty great. Of course they don't all hit it out of the park. Kamala's kind of just bleh. But fights like Bowser Jr., the final Bowser fight, and weirdly enough, even the first boss are kind of stellar. Yeah, actually one of my favorite Mario Galaxy fights is against Mega Leg. And overall, gotta give it some praise. Each boss fight really does feel satisfying to beat. So yeah, gotta give them credit. The boss fights in this one actually are very, very good. But if I were to give some criticism with the boss fights, it's that I wish there were more. There really aren't much. But the ones that are there really are good, so they went with a quality over quantity sort of thing. And then there's also the power-ups, which are probably one of this game's biggest problems, because they are not very good. In fact, I'd say it's probably one of the worst power-up rosters in all of Mario. Because either they're really situational, or they're just timed. It's actually a trope me and one of my friends named, the problematic puzzle solver. Basically referring to items that just exist to solve puzzles that would be unbeatable if the power-ups weren't there. Essentially, worthless stuff. And it's a really bad trope that I don't want to see in video games. And a lot of this game's power-ups unfortunately fall into this sort of area. And it's especially worse when most of the good ones are timed. In fact, a good chunk of them are timed. Like the Star, and even Fire Flower, which is kind of a disgrace how iconic the Fire Flower is as a power-up. And then there's the awful Spring Mushroom. I'm just gonna say it, the Spring Mushroom is the worst power-up in all of Mario. It is awful, incredibly hard to control, and just annoying. It's an absolute disgrace. And probably could have knocked like 10 points out of this game, so we could have gone to a 10 out of 10 to a 0 out of 10 just because of that power-up. But there is actually one power-up in this game I do enjoy. And that's the one everyone has probably praised at this point. That power-up has got to be the Ice Flower, which essentially allows you to walk on water and, well, just walk on water, and it's really fun. It's got a lot to praise about it, and is in general one of my favorites. And this one also has comets. You've actually seen me deal with one of these comets. And, well, there's many different types. From beating a boss fight with only 1 health, which is evil, and others, like clearing a level in a certain time limit. Or one of my personal favorites, the purple coin missions, which you unlock at the very end of the game. You have to collect purple coins in a certain area. And you have to collect them, at least 100 or all 100 hidden around a map. And they're really fun, and pretty tough too. Everyone always talks about Luigi's purple coins, but I've always struggled most with Dreadnought. But either way, they're nice ways of shaking things up. Overall, I like it. This game's got a lot of variety, some great game design, and some other things. But there are some things that people don't like about this game. One of the most infamous things about Mario Galaxy is its motion controls. Something that should have stayed dead. But overall, as someone who's playing them on the 3D All-Stars version, I'm not the biggest person who hates them. I mean, gyro controls, weirdly enough, don't bother me much, which is what I'm using in this review, of course. But there's also more motion-controlled centered levels. The Manta Ray, the Ball, the Bubble, and cleaning up Guillermo's trash. Which do take up a good chunk of the game's stars. Well, not really a good chunk, but that's 8 out of the 120. Which is not good. Not a good percent. And I never minded these levels. The ball never bothered me. The Manta Ray surfing was definitely not the most fun thing ever. And the bubbles were alright. Though weirdly enough, though the Guillermo's trash is definitely awful, and should never have been programmed into any game. and doing so should be a sin punishable by death. But still, other than that, I still quite enjoy the game. And yeah, the motion controls can feel weird at times, but it could be worse. Much, much worse. And this game also has something that's pretty foreign to Mario games. And that's a 100% reward that's actually worth it. I mean, remember when Mario Sunshine gave you, what was it again? Oh yeah, a postcard? And Mario Odyssey followed suit? Yeah, that's kinda lazy. Galaxy actually did quite a bit. If you beat the game and get all 120 stars, you can play as Luigi. And if you beat the game and get all 120 stars as Luigi, you get a special level playing through the Star Festival as a purple coin event. Which is a really smart reward that really is satisfying. Well, I think. I've not gotten to play it yet, but still. Overall, the 100% rewards are a lot better than most Mario games. And overall, this leads me to the final verdict. Galaxy is one of the best designed Mario games ever. It has great visuals, stunning level design, and while it does have issues in the power-ups and motion controls, the fun I have with this game completely neutralizes all of them. And if this wasn't enough to be the best Mario platformer ever, Luma's in this game. Any game that has Luma is automatically the best of its series, because Luma is a precious being that must be protected. Overall, I love Super Mario Galaxy. It's more than worth the praise everyone gave it. And overall, though, even if its issues are notable and kind of bothersome at times, I did quite enjoy this game, and I'd easily give it like a 9.5 or so. It's worth giving a shot, if you haven't played it yet. So overall, yeah, Mario Galaxy gets a 9.5 out of 10.